Module Overview. Political parties are not merely electoral machines or organizational structures. They are also ideological institutions. Their ideologies are frameworks of values, beliefs, and principles that guide their policies, public messages, legislative behavior, and governance approaches. This module examines how ideology influences party platforms, how platforms shape policy agendas, and how parties interact with public opinion interest groups, civil society, and institutional structures to influence policymaking and governance outcomes. Understanding political ideologies. A political ideology is a coherent set of ideas and principles that seek to explain how society should work and outlines the role of government, individual freedoms, the economy, social justice, and law and order. A. Major political ideologies. In this section, we will be using ideology, core beliefs, and examples in our table. First, liberalism, individual freedom, free markets, rule of law, democratic governance, U.S. Democrats, UK Liberal Democrats. Second, conservatism tradition, national identity, free enterprise, limited government, U.S. Republicans, UK Conservatives. 3. Socialism, social equality, wealth redistribution, state intervention in economy, Labour parties, UK Australia, ANC. 4. Communism, classless society, abolishing private property, centralized state planning, historical Soviet Union, Mao's China. 5. Populism, anti-elite sentiment, direct appeal to the people, nationalism, Donald Trump, US, Bolsonaro, Brazil. 6. Green politics, environmentalism, sustainability, participatory democracy, Green parties globally. 7. Libertarianism, maximum individual liberty, minimal state intervention, Libertarian Party, US. 8. Islamism, governance based on Islamic law and values, AKP, Turkey, Muslim Brotherhood. Most parties blend multiple ideologies in practice, e.g. social liberalism, conservative populism, adjusting according to public sentiment, context, and strategy. Party platforms and manifestos. A party platform, or manifesto, is a comprehensive public declaration of a political party's principles, policy goals, and proposed solutions to national issues. A. Key features of a party platform. Ideological orientation, left, center, or right policy proposals, economy, education, health, security, environment, youth empowerment, governance, vision, reforms, anti-corruption stance, transparency, civil service structure, electoral promises, targets, metrics, and implementation strategies. B. Role of manifestos in elections. Mobilize voters, educate the public, set performance benchmarks, serve as reference for post-election accountability. C. Dynamic platforms. Platforms are often revised to reflect new challenges, e.g. COVID-19, climate change, generational shifts, international trends, electoral alliances or coalitions. Ideology and policymaking. A. From platform to policy. Political parties translate manifestos into action through legislation, e.g. passing party-sponsored bills, executive action when in government, budget proposals and fiscal planning, public sector reforms. B. Factors influencing policy implementation. Electoral system, majority versus coalition governments, voter pressure and civil society input, institutional checks, courts, media, legislature, lobbying and interest groups, economic realities and international agreements. C. Policy consistency and party discipline. Strong ideological parties enforce policy coherence by training party lawmakers, establishing policy committees and think tanks, punishing deviation through whip systems. Case studies, ideology and practice. In this section, we will be using country party ideology and key policy direction in our table for this section. First, United States Republican Party conservatism, lower taxes, gun rights, anti-abortion laws. Second, South Africa African National Congress Democratic Socialism land reform, pro-poor policies, State subsidies 3. Germany Christian Democratic Union Christian democracy welfare capitalism moderate taxes 4. Nigeria APC/PDP mixed ideologies infrastructure anti-corruption social welfare. Ideological shifts and party rebranding. Political parties are not static. They rebrand or shift ideologies due to electoral defeats, changing demographics, leadership changes, coalition demands examples, UK Labour Party shifting from socialism under Corbyn to centrism under Keir Starmer, US Democrats integrating more progressive policies since Bernie Sanders' rise. Ideology versus pragmatism in governance. While ideology provides direction and legitimacy, pragmatism allows adaptability and flexibility. A. Tensions between ideology and reality. Ideological purism may alienate centrists. Overly pragmatic parties may lose their identity. Balance is key. Vision plus adaptability. B. Populist ideology and policy volatility. Populist parties often eschew detailed platforms in favor of emotional appeal, vague promises, anti-establishment rhetoric. This can cause incoherent policies and institutional distrust post-election. Role of think tanks and party schools. To sustain ideological clarity and policy innovation, many parties invest in research foundations and think tanks, political academies and leadership schools, manifesto review boards. These ensure evidence-based policy formulation. Impact of media and public opinion. Media plays a huge role in shaping and distorting party ideology. Social media activism can push parties to adopt progressive or controversial positions. Mass media framing may influence how ideological positions are perceived. Opposition narratives may force repositioning or denial of ideological stances. Ideology in authoritarian versus democratic contexts. Democratic systems and authoritarian systems will be used in our table for this section. 1. Competing ideologies coexist, one-party dominance or pseudo-pluralism. 2. Public debates and manifestos, ideologies imposed from above. 3. Citizens hold parties accountable, repression of dissenting ideology. 4. Policy negotiation and reforms, top-down policy imposition. In hybrid regimes, parties often adopt democratic rhetoric while practicing autocratic governance, leading to ideological inconsistencies. Challenges to ideological politics. Voter apathy and ignorance, personality politics replacing ideology. Corruption and policy betrayal, elite capture of party structures. Lack of party funding for research and engagement. Building ideologically grounded, policy-relevant and accountable parties is vital for long-term democratic development.